Okay. Before we start, I just want to be honest with you guys. I'm really nervous, and adrenaline is one heck of a drug. So bear with me. Anyway, as Edmund said, my name is Luisa Velasco. I'm a senior at Flamon High School, and I got confirmed 2 years ago. I spent my 9th and 10th grade years of high school digging myself a hole, and today I'm here to share how I got out. Going into high school, at least from the outside, I was your standard nerd, even got glasses. Working late into the hours of the night, sometimes into the morning, to maintain the highest grades in my classes that I could without causing any serious physical repercussions. I mean, sleep deprivation is part of being a high schooler, so. However, my workaholic tendencies are not born strictly from my love of learning, as I can assure you I despise English with a fiery passion, but from how I valued myself. Starting in 9th grade, I believed that I was worth what I could achieve, and I would be loved more by achieving more. I was so intoxicated by the belief that I had control to the point that my actions determined how much I was loved. I focused this belief mainly into my schoolwork. My grades defined me, so I work hard, harder than was healthy. It is our nature to be social beings, and I had become a recluse. This is how the majority of my freshman and sophomore years progressed. It was actually a spirit retreat in January of my sophomore year, like many of you guys, that gave me my first taste of what I was missing. For that weekend, I had a family of people I barely knew, yet loved and was loved in return. Despite this, I was too thick-headed to realize my own faulty logic, so I just rode out the retreat high, letting the feelings of energy, conviction, and invincibility that followed the end of the retreat wear off, leaving me back where I started. Now, fast forward roughly 9 months. My junior year was just starting, and I was set to continue my pattern. My plans, fortunately, were foiled by the one thing I had always known I had no control over: people. Specifically, the net team assigned to our parish for that year. Not long into the school year, Maggie and Caitlin, who I'm sure many of you know as members of said net team, asked me to join a Bible study with 3 other girls. Given they were staying at my house and my aversion to awkward situations, it was very difficult to say no. So I agreed. Our little group met weekly for the months that followed. Up until I joined that group, I didn't feel God's love. Intellectually, I knew he was there, and I could convince myself of his existence using the stuff I learned in school. Oddly enough, it was my heart that needed convincing. Sure, I had had retreat highs, felt inexplicable peace, and cried for no logical reason in adoration. But I had never experienced anything like the constant stream of unwavering love present in that group. It was blinding and inescapable, and it was through those 5 girls that grasped me firmly by both hands and pulled me out of my dark, comfortable hole that I was able to see how terribly wrong I had been. I had practically spat on my Creator's love for me, on my title as his daughter, by measuring my worth based on what I could do rather than who I was. And yet, instead of spurning me, he sent me a family, a community through which I could encounter him fully, a family that accepted me for all of my quirks, like Tim said yesterday. And believe me, I have quite a few. It is his love in their faces, their words, that have allowed me to get up here, shaking and all, and say this to you, so that you might find the very same thing in the people around you, the candidates, the core team, your confirmation teachers, and your family. All it takes is opening your heart. Thank you.